What's up, y'all? It's your average driveway mechanic. Welcome back. Welcome if you're new here. Let's just take a minute real quick. 324 subscribers at the time of filming this video. Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. I'm like, some people 324 may not be a lot. That's a lot of people. You put them in one little room. So, thank you for that. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. If you can, please do. Don't have to though. Currently it's 6:05 in the morning. I'm supposed to be at work at 6:30, but I can't. So let's start replacing that fuel pump. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing this alone. So I took the tailgate off to make the bed lighter. I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna disconnect the battery now, and then we'll start disconnecting the bed bolts. There should only be 4 of them. 1, 2, and then you have a third one right there and a fourth one right there. We're gonna start up here. Actually, there's 3 7 mils. Zip those out. So we're gonna come in here, we're gonna try and cut that off, save this part, and then put a Crest wrench on there. Alrighty, y'all, so that's what we ended up doing. We used the bigger one for leverage. And just cause it kind of sticks out over the bumper, it's easy to grab. And then you can see right through here, if you just take your ratchet and you stick it right up in there, you'll hit the bolt. So, boom, there's your nut. This just slides up and out. There you go. Excuse my neighbor in the background. I've got all 6 bolts taken out. These middle 2 ones have square necks, so they will not spin. The bolt will not spin. These ones, you're gonna have to do something like I did, and same thing with the back. I ended up welding this one so that it wouldn't rotate. So that's one way you can do it by yourself, is you just weld all of them minus those 2. Let's go ahead and unplug the wiring harness for the lights. Make sure this fuel filler neck is out of the way, and then the bed can come off. Okay, I got the fuel filler neck all taken out. You'll have to disconnect this clamp here, and then you'll pull it out of that tube. You'll kind of have to just work it slowly. You'll have to pull it out a little bit, and then you'll have some slack. You can bend it, get this part right here to come out in here, and then you can pull it out more and just kind of slowly bend that, tuck her down, and that's where it'll sit out of the way. Right here by your spare tire, your trailer brake hookup, you'll have 2 gray plugs. Those run to the lines, which run to your taillights. Go ahead and unplug those, and the bed, if I'm not mistaken, should. There you go. Before you do anything, make sure there's no grounds or anything else connected to the bed. Then however you think it would be best to get your truck bed off of your truck, do it that way. So the plan is here, just pick the bed up, set it on the bumper here, try to just slowly work it back this way, being real gentle with it. I don't want to bend any of the sides. I'm going to end up replacing this bed at some point with either a flat bed or a step side, more than likely. But yeah, I still don't want to bend it up gently and all that. So I'm going to just slowly walk it out, and then I'll probably end up tipping it back, putting it this way. This works best for me. This paint is not in the best condition. It needs to be repainted, dents need to be pulled. So I'm going to be gentle with it, but I think that's my plan. Alright, so this is where I got the bed. I'm going to have somebody help me real quick. We'll just set her down on this side here, and hopefully, so far you can see she's looking good, not dented or anything. So the fuel pump is right there. So we'll just tip her back, and boom, we'll have access to the fuel pump. We'll get that replaced, make sure she runs, and then we'll put everything back. Okay, so I've just connected all the lines minus this one. This line does not want to disconnect from that. I'll do that when I go to replace the pump though. But both of these fuel lines the 3/8 worked for. They are different size lines, but this had 3 different clips on it, one here, here, and here, and then it just slid right out. I have those tucked away down here, and like I said, I'll pull this out when I go to replace the fuel pump. I took this and just tapped it up until it twisted off, and then now you can remove it and your fuel pump as well. So we're gonna go get the new pump and then reverse install everything. Okay, so we've got washers for the bolts that we notched, the bed bolts. We've got our new fuel pump. I will put the part number up on the screen, like here. That's the fuel pump I got. We're gonna go ahead, pop that one out, pop this one in, then we have to wire in a new harness to our existing wires, so I'll show you guys that. Okay, so we removed our pump here. Here's our old one. We've cleaned this off before we took the old pump out so we don't knock a bunch of stuff in there. Make sure you have a float, your filter is securely on. Here's what a new filter looks like next to an old filter. Although this filter was bigger, so I don't like the smaller filter, that's not cool. But everything looks pretty good, so we will gently stick our float in, and then I'm taking that filter and making sure it stays connected to the fuel pump. There's not a lot of room to sneak it in there. Still feed in there nice and easy. Okay. If you're just real gentle with it, you don't want to mess the float up. Check in there, make sure I still got my filter on. Looks like it should still be on. It is definitely still on. So I'm going to seat this in this little ring here. In our other bag came a new ring. You have to make sure that yours comes with the new one. Your old one is good to reuse and will work with the new one. Or you have to just buy a new one that will work with it. So we'll just kind of slide it in. You see me go over the top of the wire and then snake it this way, push it back that way. We'll grab our flathead and then you just tap it until it stops. Alright, I knocked you guys over, but this is what it looks like now. Pump is secure, it's not going anywhere, so we can start getting stuff plugged back in here. Plug that back in. You'll get these two plugged in where they need to go, and then this we'll have to rewire. So there's our new pigtail and our connectors. Okay, I believe I have it wired up properly. The box did not come with any instructions on to what those wires did on that pump. And I did not look up a diagram for this one. I just looked at that plug. I'll show you that in a second if it works. Let's go ahead, turn the key over, see if the pump will whine. Okay, so I accidentally just started my truck, but you hear that priming? So I don't know if all pumps work this way, but the way that my pump worked is there's the wires. There's 4 different ports. The old fuel pump sat in there like that. You can see it has 2 notches on the side and a notch on the top. So this plug sat in there like that. So I just, boom, the black and white wire on this harness is black and orange over here. So it'd be this wire. Okay, the purple wire is yellow on this one, so that would be this wire on the old harness, this one. Then boom, okay, we have orange wire here, that would be black and white. So this wire here is our orange wire on here, which then is no longer orange on this side, so you just have to follow that. And then our orange wire on here is actually, boom, green, which would be this wire here. So we'll go ahead, we'll pull these up, and we'll get it heat shrinked. We'll start putting the bed back on. Okay, so we've got all 6 bed bolts back in. We're gonna work on getting those nuts on, tightened. We're using thread locker. These 2 middle ones I would recommend starting with, just because you don't need anybody else's help to do that. If you just weld them to the bed, then I guess you still wouldn't need anybody's help for any of them. These ones you can do definitely by yourself if you notch them or weld the nut to them. I'm gonna go back with the grinder and take that off when I'm finished, and then that'll be that. All right, I've got these 2 and these middle 2 fully tightened down. We're working on the back 2. Just need my helper to be free. Taking my little fuel filler nozzle. The 3 bolts are not in yet, but I'm gonna slide this back in to that pipe there, and then that should be sitting about where I want it to, and I can line up the holes, get my screws back through. I'll go find my help and I'll see if he's free to help me tighten those back too. Job's complete. Let's go ahead, start it, take it around the block, and wrap this video up. Alrighty y'all, that's gonna be the end of today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Y'all have a good one. Peace.